In the controlled environment of a free kick, the goalkeeper holds every relevant variable. The ball is stationary, its starting coordinates are fixed, and the exact moment of impact is clear. For an elite athlete, the reaction window for a shot from 30 yards is generous. Human biology should easily allow a professional to track the ball, calculate the landing zone, and move into position. Yet, the opposite occurs. Goalkeepers often remain frozen, dive late, or step in the wrong direction as the ball passes them. Against Spain in 2018, David De Gea was physically beaten before attempting a move. He stood immobile, watching a trajectory he could not comprehend. It is a mistake to credit this purely to the speed of the shot. While power matters, velocity alone does not explain why world-class defenders are left stranded by a ball they can see from 30 yards away. This is a cognitive failure. The elite free kick is engineered to exploit the specific biological processing limits of the human visual system. To defeat the goalkeeper, strikers use two distinct aerodynamic models. The first is the high spin strike, which relies on aggressive, predictable curvature. The second is the static strike, characterized by a lack of rotation and chaotic late-stage movement. These two flight paths are the result of the player's biomechanical choices in the seconds before the foot meets the leather. This is the kinematic chain. The kicker channels mass from the hip, through a locked ankle, into a specific strike zone on the ball. Shifting that contact point by millimeters dictates whether the ball develops a stable rotation or a chaotic wobble. Understanding the goalkeeper's struggle requires us to look at the invisible fluid dynamics triggered by these specific biomechanical chains. Lionel Messi is the master of the high spin technique. His approach is designed to maximize lateral rotational velocity from the moment of impact. The execution involves striking with the inside of the foot and wrapping the boot around the ball's lower hemisphere. A wide, sweeping follow-through ensures the rotation remains constant. This imparts a rapid horizontal spin, causing the ball to drill through the air as it lifts over the wall. As shown here, a spinning ball drags a bounding layer of air with it. This is the Magnus Effect. Air moving in the same direction as the spin travels faster, creating a low-pressure zone. On the opposite side, where the air hits the spin head-on, pressure builds. This pressure difference creates a physical force vector that pushes the ball sideways mid-flight, resulting in an extreme curve that increases as the ball slows down. This creates a data problem for the goalkeeper. The human brain uses linear extrapolation. It predicts where an object is going based on its initial trajectory. The Magnus Effect breaks that prediction. By the time the keeper's brain accounts for the lateral curve, the ball has already moved beyond their reach. Cristiano Ronaldo utilizes the static model, a technique that produces the infamous knuckleball. Instead of wrapping around the ball, the player strikes the dead center of its mass with a completely rigid ankle, halting the follow-through almost instantly. This results in high velocity with nearly zero rotation. Without spin to stabilize it, the ball becomes subject to the whims of fluid dynamics. This creates a Kármán vortex freet. Microscopic eddies of air build up and then shed off the trailing edge of the ball as it moves. Because the ball isn't spinning, these vortices detach at random intervals and in different directions. Each detachment creates a momentary vacuum that jerks the ball. It can cause a sudden lateral swerve or make the ball drop into the net like a stone. When players like David Luiz or Keisuke Honda strike the ball this way, the resulting path appears to defy logic, baffling commentators and goalkeepers alike. Because a Kármán vortex street is inherently random, the keeper cannot plan a save. There is no consistent trajectory to track until the final milliseconds of flight. Beyond the standard models of spin and static flight, certain players rely on biomechanical anomalies to beat the keeper. Branco was famous for his thunderous drive. Branco's technique followed simple Newtonian logic, maximizing body weight transfer through the center of the ball. By focusing on pure force, Branco minimized the ball's flight time, shrinking the goalkeeper's reaction window to where an intercept is no longer biologically possible. On the other end of the spectrum is Teófilo Cubillas. He achieved a similar effect using the outside of his foot for a right-footed strike. This creates the inverse Magnus effect. The ball spins in the opposite direction of a traditional strike, curving away from the goal line when the goalkeeper expects it to bend inward. Whether it's through overwhelming speed or an inverted curve, these anomalies push the ball's movement past the threshold of human cognitive processing. Then there is the defensive wall. We typically think of the wall as a barrier that protects the goal. However, for a skilled striker, the wall is a vital tactical tool. It acts as a visual screen. This is the visual occlusion zone. The wall creates a physical blind spot, hiding the ball's starting point. By the time it clears the wall and enters the keeper's vision, hundreds of milliseconds of trajectory data are already lost. This delay prevents the brain from determining the style of the strike, whether a Magnus curve or Carmen drop, until the ball is already on its final, uncatchable path. The elite free kick is a sequence of engineering. Biomechanics trigger specific fluid dynamics, governing the ball's movement. These trajectories are calculated to hit the net's corners at the exact moment the goalkeeper's biological reaction time runs out. When a goalkeeper is beaten by a world-class strike, it is rarely due to a lack of effort. They are simply facing physics that move faster than the human brain can process. These strikes use biomechanical precision and aerodynamic chaos to create a flight path that is both physically and mathematically unsolvable.